the Lord's dealing with time. Time.
Yeah.
Jesus is walking the streets of America, and he's messing with time. The Lord is messing with time. And the Lord's got us walking in these different dimensions all at the same time, because that's where he is. And he sees it all at the same time. And he has said to his people, stop looking at dates, stop looking at time. What does time have to do with it?
Right.
Because this is in his realm, and his realm has nothing to do with time. Right. So even we say, like, God's not early, but he's never late. Well, you know, sometimes he's early, sometimes he's never late. But here's the deal. He's not constrained to time limitations like we are. He's doing stuff now. Oh, Lord. Did anybody remember the rod in the head? Yeah. The Lord's been taking me back to that and says, you know, you put that rod in your head, right? Like, yeah. I kind of forgot, but yeah. And it causes you to be able to see in all dimensions at the same time. When the Lord moves on that, I mean, we're seeing what he sees. We have to look at a clock on the wall in order to know what time it is for people that are held in the constraints of time. The reason I'm saying this is because everybody's got their eyes on a certain date. First it was like Election Day, and then it was, you know, December or something, and and then January 6th. Was it 14? Anyway, electoral stuff, which is really moot. It doesn't make any difference. Time makes no difference at this point. I kind of knew it. We knew it. You can't just look at a time and say, okay, this is when it's going to happen, and then we're going to figure out the rapture is going to happen like 2 seconds after that, and they got it all figured out. And the moment people start putting the time on it, then the Lord says, well, if I was going to do it then, I'm not now, because he won't let someone else set up his timetable for him. I don't blame him. I wouldn't like that either. He's God. He really enjoys messing with our heads. He does. He enjoys messing with our carnal thinking.
Yeah.
He doesn't let us get away with it. That's good. So Jesus has been walking the streets of America for a long time, but it's really ramped up in 2020 because where sin abounds, grace much more abounds. So Jesus has been walking the streets of America. And he's also been walking the halls of the Capitol. And he's also been speaking to people that you wouldn't believe are actually listening to him. And then there's a lot of people that you think should be listening to him, and they're not. So everything is... It's like Ezekiel's wheel. And I'm not going to just sit here and go on and on, but okay, Lord, why did you tell me to come up here? Did I say it?
Yeah.
It's about time.
Right.
It's about time. It's about...
Right.
We don't realize how much we make time the issue. And then you can feel like that oppression that comes in over everybody because like, oh no, we're down to the wire. No, we're not.
No.
God's not down to the wire.
No.
He can do anything he wants.
That's right.
Our timing, he doesn't even have to abide by our laws.
No.
He's not an American. He's his diplomatic immunity. It's very anointed in here. But I could feel that heavy thing. And people are like, oh my goodness, we're just waiting to see what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. Rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord. Rejoice. Because he's already done it. He's had this thing set up. I got to give you a preview of something we're going to do, and then I will go sit down.
Tell him.
You know, Mike has told you about when the Lord introduced him to Michael the archangel in our kitchen on October 11, 2012. At the exact time that was happening, I was in the bedroom having a dream vision because it woke me up from sleep. I heard the gavel drop in the court of heaven, and it woke me up. And then I heard a proclamation, and the Lord told me, the Holy Watchers. See, I found some of those things today. It was the Holy Watchers, and it's all in the book of Daniel. In fact, as I woke up, my Bible was right there. The angel turned the pages to the book of Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard the word, the gavel dropped, and I heard the words, "Today the kingdom is removed from your hands." And I knew he was talking about Barack Obama. That was 1 month before the 2012 election. So the timing really sucked for me because I thought it had something to do with the election. But so
Not that.
I'm learning, not that one, because he told me that the kingdom was removed and put into the hands of someone who was not just worthy, he said humble, a humble man. And I'm looking at the one that was running against Obama and thinking, I don't think it's him. And it wasn't.
Right.
My point is, the Lord is bringing us back full circle and saying, when he introduced Mike to Michael the archangel, who is the angel of Israel, and he was talking to me about Obama and saying that the kingdom has been removed from his hand because the spirit of Nebuchadnezzar was on him, that I am a God thing, and building an image unto himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to this is the short version.
Mm-hmm.
But believe it or not, as he's building this thing to himself, the whole point was everyone's going to have to bow down when they hear all the minstrels and everybody play, which, Hollywood and everybody plays, everybody has to. All these people that everyone watches so that they know what they're supposed to do. Hollywood, the Lord rebuke you. That he said that Israel was intended to be thrown in the fiery furnace because they won't bow down. Because this was a global thing that I was seeing. It wasn't just America, it was global. And that when the music was sounding, people were all going to be bowing down to this image. And Israel was going to be thrown in the fire. And Christians. Israel. And God's people. Let me put it another way, that's not right. Israel, God's people, and those of us grafted in, Christians. That was the point.
Mm-hmm.
So the angel of Israel showed up in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, the Lord's showing me what the plan was to demolish Israel. People have no idea how much Barack Obama had. I mean, he's still involved in all of this that's going on. He's totally involved. He's behind it all. He's involved in it. He's part of it. It's his image. Yeah, it's part of the image he was building. That whole one world thing. He's still completely involved in it. And the Lord said, the kingdom's removed from your hand. He was talking to everyone in his administration.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's going to look like because I've been just saying, well, then that means Biden doesn't get to be inaugurated. There will be, if they're inaugurated, I guarantee you it's one of those phony ones from in the Old Testament, like where they're, is it, when he had a couple of sons that gave him trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Absalom, it's the other one, who set himself up to be a king, and they had a big party, and they had a big coronation. And it was just a big show because the Lord didn't allow it. It was treason.
It was illegitimate.
It was illegitimate. Thank you. I'm going to just stop now, but I just wanted you to know, God is not limited by time. So whatever happens or doesn't happen this week, rejoice. Rejoice because God's got this. He spoke this to us. I mean, we were just like marveling at this. That was
9 years.
that was 9 years ago. Really?
Yeah, 8.5.
8.5 years ago.
Mhm.
8, yeah. Anyway, it was before we moved to Las Vegas. And it was Michael that came along later and then showed Mike the revival and told him to move here. Anyway, I'm going to let you, I keep saying I'm going to give it back to you. I'm going to give it back to you.
But you know what? One of the things that you said, a preview, is because we're gonna do something. I don't know if it'll be video, if it'll be podcast, but we'll do something where we put all that together and lay it all out for the people.